Right, next, I really just want to give you an overview of some definitions, different terminology we use with triangles. Obviously, now that we know that the sum of the angles within a triangle is always 180, that puts some restrictions on what size our angles can be. Now, obviously, you can only have, well, here, let's look at the 90-degree one, a right triangle. You can only have one angle that's a 90-degree angle. You can't have two. If you had two angles that were 90 degrees, you would use up all of the 180, right? And you wouldn't have anything left for the third angle. So you cannot have a triangle with more than one right angle. So, but you can have one. And so any triangle that has one right angle is called a right triangle. Same thing for an obtuse angle. You can't have more than one obtuse angle, because if you did, you would use up more than your 180 degrees, and you wouldn't have anything left over for the third angle, right? In fact, you wouldn't even have enough for the second angle if they were both obtuse. And so, but you can still have one obtuse angle. That's okay. One that's less, or one that's over 90 degrees, as long as the other two are small enough to make it fit within the 180. Okay, and so if you have one obtuse angle, you can have you have what we call an obtuse triangle. Now, an acute triangle is one in which all three angles are less than 90 degrees. Okay, they're all acute angles, and that can happen. You can have, you know, an 80-degree angle and a 40 and a 60. That would add up to 180, right? And they're all acute angles. They're all less than 90, so that's an option. Also, we have triangles where a certain number of sides are equal. You can have a situation where two of the three sides are equal. It's called an isosceles triangle. What's interesting about isosceles triangles is that if you have two sides that are equal, their opposite angles are also congruent. So if you have two equal sides, you get two equal angles, and vice versa. If you have two equal angles, you get two equal sides. Congruent, I should say. I'm using congruent and equal interchangeably right now. I really shouldn't, though. Equilateral triangles are ones where all three sides have equal length. I should say it that way. And as a result, all three angles also have equal measure. What's interesting about that is if you have all three angles the same, then you just divide that 180 degrees by 3, and each angle will be 60 degrees. Okay. And then finally, you have this. You have what's called a scalene triangle. A scalene triangle is one that just has no two sides are the same, right? No equal side lengths, and as a result, all of your angles will be different as well. Okay. All right. So that gives you just a brief summary of some of the categories that we can come up with triangles now that we know what the restrictions are on the angle measure.